to a CBS 2 investigation. How did a former New Jersey police officer who was disciplined 3 times in 5 years go on to train thousands of officers while charging local governments thousands of dollars? It
is a question we're asking as a new CBS 2 investigation finds the head of a controversial police training company was once accused by his own department of using a racial slur. CBS 2 investigative reporter Tim McNicholas here now with a story you'll see only on 2. And Tim, you've been digging into this one for months now.
That's right, Maurice and Christine. Ever since a government watchdog said the street cop training company taught unconstitutional police tactics at a conference in Atlantic City. Street Cop says it has trained tens of thousands of officers across the country, so we wanted to dig deeper. And tonight, we have the CEO's never-before-seen internal affairs records. We want to warn you, what you're about to see might be considered graphic or offensive.
I would be remiss if I didn't remind you or let you know that I have a 3-inch...
Lewd, disparaging, glorifying violence. That's how the New Jersey Comptroller's office describes the comments at this 2021 Street Cop Conference.
I love fighting. I love shooting. I watched this car come off the highway, and I the out of the female driver. She doesn't want to me back, though.
The Comptroller says this video shows the company's founder, Dennis Bonino, talking about people who record interactions with police.
Right? About to get pepper sprayed, tased, windows broken out, mother.
Years before that, Bonino was a street cop himself, a Woodbridge Township police officer for 10 years.
I didn't understand it. I just didn't understand it.
Attorney Cynthia Hardway represented 3 women in a 2015 lawsuit accusing Bonino and other officers of excessive force, racial bias, and false arrest during an incident at a local mall. Woodbridge Township paid $50,000 taxpayer dollars to settle before it went to trial. Bonino never admitted to any wrongdoing.
What he was doing in that training session was giving insight of what type of officer he is and how he feels.
I don't want to hear his exit. I want die like 91 with hookers and cocaine around me.
Woodbridge police say Bonino retired from the department at age 33, within weeks of that suit being filed. But we wanted to know more about his record before he retired. At first, Woodbridge police denied our request for his records, but we kept fighting and eventually learned he was disciplined by the department 3 times in 5 years. In 2009, another cop from out of town said that at a bar, Bonino used an Italian racial slur to describe black people he chased on the job, which that out-of-town cop recounted to internal affairs investigators in Woodbridge.
That's when you start talking about how basically how great he was, and that's when he said how he's up here chasing around.
Bonino denied using the slur, but a lieutenant from Internal Affairs wrote, "It's obvious Officer Bonino was being less than forthcoming in his answers, and what degree of confidence can one have regarding Bonino's ability to be impartial in his dealings with African Americans?" Here's Bonino in his Internal Affairs interview.
Why would these people that don't even know you want to make something like this up? I don't know. That's why we're trying to find out.
He later pleaded guilty to violating department conduct standards, and Woodbridge police say they gave him a 10-day suspension. That's what the state calls major discipline, which only about 1% of New Jersey cops face per year, according to recent data.
Should that have been a red flag before he started to train police officers?
I can't speak to the particular case, but it does sound like something we would give some concerns.
Years later, in 2021, a monkey was displayed on screen while one of Bonino's street cop instructors, a Robbinsville, New Jersey sergeant, described a black man in a traffic stop.
That's not an 18-year-old kid dressed like Jesus coming eastbound out of Trenton. It's a 75-year-old black man, a change in drive behavior.
New Jersey Attorney General Matt Platkin says the 240 New Jersey cops who attended that 2021 conference will be retrained.
I've made it very clear to all 38,000 sworn officers and their leadership that no one should be attending street cop training in the state of New Jersey.
As Street Cop promotes its upcoming training sessions, other leaders are concerned too. The state of Minnesota says the company is no longer accredited by its police training board. Platkin says he's told New Jersey's Police Training Commission to take a close look at the issue.
That work is ongoing, but I anticipate they will put out new rules for outside vendors more broadly that will hopefully ensure that what we saw in Street Cop doesn't happen again.
Robbinsville police say Sergeant Scott Kivett is now facing an internal affairs investigation, and he did not respond to our interview requests for this story. Neither did Bonino and his attorney. Bonino did post a video in response to the Comptroller report, apologizing for the offensive language and denying that street cop ever taught unconstitutional policing.
We want police officers to have the highest level of professionalism.
But professionalism is not how the West Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office describes this. A former street cop conference instructor firing at a reported stolen car as it drove away from a traffic stop in 2022. The Sheriff's Office never found the gun. Reserve Deputy Sean Pardesi said the driver pointed, and police arrested Pardesi for illegal use of a weapon and obstruction of justice. And a grand jury will soon decide whether charges should be filed. Pardesi, who was fired after police learned he live-streamed the incident on Facebook, said this at that 2021 Street Cop Conference.
Run for me. Somewhere along the chase becomes...
Pardesi's lawyer tells CBS 2 he was justified. No one was injured in that shooting. But Hardway worries there might be a next time for another street cop participant, and how that next time might end.
For other people who might have to encounter an officer with that mentality, it may not be the end result. It may be something way worse than, us sitting here having a conversation.
In 2016, Bonino sued one of those women who sued him when he was a cop, claiming she caused him to suffer injuries that day. That was also settled before a trial, before it ever reached a trial. And one of the conference speakers, the man you heard saying he loves fighting and shooting, he told CBS 2 in a statement he believes police need a warrior mindset to survive. Christina Maurice.
Some shocking material there, Tim. You did mention that Bonino was disciplined 3 times in Woodbridge. What were the other 2?
Well, he was given 2 letters of reprimand, actually. One was for allegedly rear-ending someone he was trying to pull over, and one because internal affairs investigators said he opened a barber shop with a convicted felon without properly notifying his department about it, which is against department policy. The Comptroller, by the way, says Street Cop has earned hundreds of thousands of dollars from New Jersey police departments for its training.
Well, eye-opening work, Tim. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
All right. Well, if you have a story you'd like us to investigate, email us at CBS2investigates@cbs.com or call our tip line at the number right there on your screen.